Greetings, fellow humans. This is Pat Callahan from All White Tukey. You're listening to another great podcast on the Four Eyed Radio Network. Yeah.
This world needs a hero. It needs a savior, a white light, a beacon in the sun, or just someone to draw some logos. If you're looking for someone to do design work, illustration work, and to help improve your business's look and design, contact Raven Designs at ravencruise.com. She's one of the proud sponsors of the Four Eyed Radio Network, and her artwork is amazing.
What did you like better, Jedi or The Empire Strikes Back?
Empire.
Blasphemy.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Okay, and hello and welcome. This is a brand new podcast on the 4i Radio Network. We haven't decided yet. Clay and I was just having this discussion who's more Jedi and who's more Sith. Clay did have a good answer, though. You said you're more evil than good.
You know, I do have a pretty deep dark side sometimes.
Pretty deep dark side? Is that the name of your next porno?
Oh,
next Star Wars porno.
Next? Are you kidding? I already shot that 3 years ago.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah, he's just waiting for the royalties to kick in.
That's
right. Anyway, so this is actually called, I didn't know what to call it. I didn't want to call it like Star Wars Podcast or Star Pod or Pod Wars or something like that. So I decided to call it a Jedi, a Sith, and an Ewok. I passed it through, checked it with Erin and Clay, of course. And they were like, yeah, go right ahead. Of course, they were more like, I don't fucking care. Just do what you want to do.
You never ran anything by me.
I made you an admin on the thing. Anyways, you can find us.
You never ask me anything.
I do ask you everything. You can find us now. We do have a Facebook page. We're at 39 likes right now, so that's actually pretty good for not having any podcast content yet. So hopefully we'll get more out there. It's at just www.facebook.com/Jedi.
Clay doesn't even use.
No, I know. We had this discussion before. I'm like, don't even worry about it then.
It's true. The book is not something that I'm.
Oh yeah.
I frequent very often.
That's all right.
Do you Twitter?
If it's social media,
Twitter,
generally no.
Clay's like, I'm still on MySpace.
I do frequent MySpace.
Oh, do you?
Really?
I do. And by that I mean I go on there every once in a while and just make fun of all the emo kids that are still left.
Damn. I definitely deleted my Facebook.
Your Facebook? We are talking about space here, so that
I like it. I like that. You can follow us on the Spacebook.
Follow us on Facebook.
We do also have Twitter. It's at Jedi Seth Ewok. Very simple stuff. I'm not going to promote any of this stuff because we have bumpers for it, so we'll just jump right into it. So I did ask a Star Wars question. We only got one answer, but I guess that's okay. I just asked people, and I guess we can go around the table to find out what was our favorite Star Wars movie. But the guy who answered back was Cinema on the Rocks. He's a guy who follows pretty much a lot of our shows on thing. He goes, the answer is just Star Wars. That's the whole name of the movie. Not an episode is BS. The poster just says Star Wars, so he's just including the entire.
Okay.
We'll go around the table. So
I like this guy.
Yeah, no, Cinema on the Rocks is pretty funny.
I want Clay to start.
You want Clay to start?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I got to go with definitely A New Hope.
Really?
Yep.
New Hope?
All the way. To me, it's just the most epic.
The most epic?
The most epic. I can't get behind, the first three. And by that, of course, I mean 1 through 3.
Yeah.
Oh, those don't exist in my book.
No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we are going to have to touch on this
we
at
will
some
talk
point.
about those.
But,
to be fair, I thought that was George Lucas' version of like Scary Movie and stuff like that. Like he was like, oh, I'm making comedies now, I mean, if you look at it from that standpoint, they're pretty hilarious.
I mean, like the scariest slasher villain of all time would definitely be Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
Oh God. I think I still have nightmares about him.
Oh, definitely.
You know the sad part about that? George Lucas created this character going like, he's going to be huge. He's going to be the next Chewbacca, and it just failed.
Oh,
it failed epically.
And he was
when you put a Basset Hound's ears on a giant lizard, you're going to have some problems.
Which rumor has it, I got to do research on it, but rumor has it that's what actually the creatures were supposed to be instead of Ewoks in Return of the Jedi. Were supposed to be these lizard creatures.
I'm I'm so glad they were
horrible.
Ewoks instead.
Little lovable teddy bears that kill things are so much better. It's
Well,
like
and
Conker's
think
Bad
about-
Fur Day, except
Think about how innovative and actually advanced those little teddy bears were, because they actually created their own weapons. They had flying machines. They had hang gliders.
Yeah, no.
They're fucking smart. They had their own language. If we're going to talk about evolution here, these were some smart ass bears.
These were the first avatars.
They're smarter than the average bear.
Yeah, right?
Hey, boo boo. Why don't we get those Star Troopers over here?
Right.
I don't think. Do you know what's the funny part?
I don't know about that, Yogi.
No, yeah. No one realized this, but if you think about it, those Ewoks, before C-3PO started talking to them, they were going to eat them.
That's true.
Yeah.
They were just going to be like, fuck you.
They
I'm
were
eating this
savage
guy.
little
Yeah,
monkeys.
they were savage little bastards, so.
And I mean, fucking stormtroopers got nothing. Like a under 4 foot tall furry bear with buck teeth has a better aim than you do with your laser gun.
Well, to be fair,
That's
you have to
true.
look at it. Well, we didn't know at the time, and they try to give us a reason in the episode 2 comedy, but apparently all stormtroopers are clones. So if
yes,
you
of
think
course.
about it, it made sense to me why they were such bad shots. Then,
Oh, because
it's like,
as you
you keep cloning.
hey, they
unless you
managed to
played a little
get
bit of
Princess
Battlefield.
Leia.
Unless they played Battlefield, where they just started describing that only the 501st was then considered a pure unit. At that point, that they started changing up the different DNA that they put in there.
See,
Shitballs. See?
that's why I brought this guy on.
So smart. So New Hope is
So
what
New
does
Hope
it
is
for
yours.
you?
New Hope gets it done for me. It's it's the beginning. It's
Get your
it's
lightsaber
the
all
epic.
wet.
Oh, dude, you have no
Ew.
idea. The part where Luke looks down just like the hilt of the lightsaber and almost like cuts his own head off. That that above anything is that does it for me right there.
Damn.
Oh, man.
Instant hard on.
Instant hard on. So, okay, Erin, what about you? What's your?
If our listeners out there listen to the Underground Railroad at all, they might already know this about me, but Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back. And why do you like Empire Strikes Back?
'Cause
What
it's-
does it for you?
It's holy fucking epic. I mean, it ends and you're like, shit. Like, that can't be it. It gets you really looking forward to the good guys taking over and winning. But you don't know if that's going to happen at the end of Empire Strikes Back because it looks like the dark side won. And I really like suspense. That's why I hide everything in my house so I never know where to find it. No, that's a lie. I don't do that. No.
I have no idea where you're going with that.
No.
Erin's like, I freeze everything in carbonite, you know.
Yeah, I freeze everything in carbonite so then I don't know what it is, and then I get really excited and I'm also scared at the same time to find out what it is. It's fun. I like to choose my own adventure every day.
Every damn day.
Every damn day.
Every damn day.
All the
play it.
time. Like, I took the label off of my beer. So then I'm like, what kind of beer am I drinking? Oh, surprised. I was in so much suspense until that got into my mouth.
Okay, how many times? Okay, I don't even know.
That's
Never
what
mind.
she
We're not,
said?
yeah. Hashtag Jesus. Holy flippin' Jedi, Batman.
So, yeah, Empire Strikes Back.
Empire
Because it's
Strikes Back.
suspenseful and epic and crazy.
Empire purist.
Very good, very good. Mine, of course, is Empire Strikes Back as well, just because. But I look at it from a different standpoint. First of all, you get the introduction of the greatest character of all time, Yoda.
Yeah,
That's true.
That's true.
Crazy little guy,
Thank
voiced
you,
by
Frank Oz.
Frank Oz. You know, puppeteered that as well. And then also, of course, the biggest part where it ends like life. It ends on downers. You know, Han gets kidnapped. Luke gets his hand chopped off, finds out, spoilers, if you have not watched Star Wars, I'm sorry if I'm spoiling this for you, Vader is his father, you know, kind
And
of
if you
thing.
have not watched Star Wars, where have you been for the last 4
And
years?
if you haven't watched Star Wars, why the fuck are you listening to this cast?
Oh, they might just be
Yeah.
wasted, because I did tell people, if you listen to the first 10 people who listen, get $1, so
I've
been kinda selling it short. But no, it's a good
Okay.
one. Like I don't have a problem with...
Where are these dollars coming from?
I could use some.
And
dollars.
how do I get some of these dollars?
More money, more problems. That's what the Jedi said. That's why they're all like monks.
It's
Okay, I don't know. But yeah, I mean,
Currency,
I
passion.
still like Jedi. I've actually, the funny part is I think I really hated the Ewoks when I first watched it. I think I was at this weird age that I wasn't young enough to be like, oh yeah, Ewoks, and I wasn't old enough to just be like, it's fucking Ewoks.
Do you remember the Ewok
Yes, the Ewoks movies, which we will get into that because technically it is part of the Star Wars universe.
Yes.
Yes, I do remember those where they got, not only did they get one, they got 2 movies. So obviously Ewoks, okay, first off, you got to hand it to Ewoks. They were a lot more popular than Jar Jar fucking Binks.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are. I was hoping, hopefully the next time you show up with your little hood thing. So
yeah,
we
I
can
have
take
to
a
let
picture
it
for you.
air out.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I guess I'm trying to remember. Now, did you see? Of course, I don't think any of us was able to see Star Wars in the actual movie theaters when it first came out.
No.
But
we were all a little young, if not
little young,
born.
yeah. Did anyone get to see them when they re-released them?
I did.
Yes.
And then when they added the new footage, how did everyone feel about that kind of stuff?
Insulted.
I think at the time that it was re-released and the new footage was in it, I wasn't like aware enough
To like be
To,
like, be
like-
like that's wrong, that's
Yeah,
wrong, that's just wrong.
exactly.
Now, yeah,
now different
I
story.
do have to say
but
there are a
at
couple of
that
scenes
time-
that they added that I didn't have a problem with.
Mhm.
And this was one of the scenes is actually when Han Solo goes running down the hallway to fight some stormtroopers, and then he runs back, and then there's a bunch more stormtroopers. In the actual original, there was like maybe like 5, and you're like, why is he running? You know, like it didn't make any sense. But other things such as Greedo shoots him, and then he shoots back. No, I'm sorry. Han has always shot first.
I'm sorry. My biggest insult with that was definitely throwing Jabba the Hutt in as well, and then him actually moving and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
which is weird
Yeah.
because they actually did film that with like a big fat guy. Like they show the footage. Like George Lucas had this idea, but they just didn't have an idea what Jabba was. And then they're like, Jabba the Hutt's in the 3rd one. This is what he looks like. You're like, okay, he's a big fat slug thing. That makes kind of sense. Doesn't really move around a lot. And then when they put him in like episode, A New Hope, episode 6 or 4, you're just all like, this just it's like he looks great here because he's CGI, and then we're gonna go see him in Jedi, and he's gonna look like hi Muppet, So
Oh yeah, totally. Well, and then also as well when you're talking about changing the originals. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I keep a VCR and a set of the original 3 on VHS.
yeah, that should be the best way to do it.
Just because you can't find a copy anymore of the original 3 without the updated version.
Which I don't get. You think if you released it on the Blu-ray set, everyone's always if you bought it like when it came out it was like $100.
Right.
You would assume that you should have original, special one, and then whatever one they else want to throw on there. So there are the people who's like, I just want to watch the original cut.
And Blu-rays are big enough for that, but but there's just way too many special features that really have to go in there just to fill it out.
Yeah. But it's just like, I do agree, because there's some times where it's all like, yeah, you can't watch the original. I think my dad probably still has like the first 3 original on VHS before
I'm not sure.
Unless he got, I don't think, no, he has to, because Dad doesn't get rid of anything.
Yeah, but
That's the problem with him.
my thing is I know like there's a set at the house of VHS, but I don't know if those are the remastered ones. The thing is that knowing our family, the first 3 like original were probably like recorded
Off of TV.
off of something
Yeah.
at one point. I mean, that's like, I know that was like most of my favorite cassettes growing up. It was like, oh, I got to watch a My Little Ponies video, and then Rainbow Bright was right after it because we just kept recording.
Which is
God, I miss
it's
VCRs.
funny that you mentioned My Little Ponies, because then I have starting that podcast now too, which is going to be really weird.
You're really
Yeah.
doing a pony podcast?
Yeah, but hear me out. This is the funny part. I've not seen any of the episodes.
Okay.
This is what I'm doing. Okay, it's of course
You spent a
we're-
lot of time trolling 4chan and got obsessed with My Little Pony.
No, actually, I have no desire. Like, this is what I like about this show. I've seen the artwork, and I go, the artwork's really cool. Then I found out the guy who created Dexter's Laboratory, his wife works on the show. So I'm like, all right, so you got some creative talent behind it. You got a lot of great voice actors behind it, because I follow all voice actors, because of course that's something I want to do. But other than that, I'm like, to me, it's geared towards little girls. That's what the show is. That's fine. That's great. My podcast it's called Do You Even Brony Bro? And why I call it this, because I literally want to sit down with adults and just go, why? Like, what is, like, what is the draw? Like, that's the whole purpose of that show, is me trying to figure out, like, how did this become so huge in an adult community?
Why do
I
I
recant. That
feel
sounds
like
hilarious.
it's going to turn into To Catch a Predator?
It might. Hi, I'm Chris Hansen. No, do you even brownie pony? Whatever it's called.
Do you even brownie pony? That's a better name.
That's a better name.
That's
now.
a better
Great.
name.
Not
Do you
gonna
even
say.
brony pony?
Do you even brony pony? I probably still change everything. But yeah, so I'm trying to think what else we could talk about with this.
How did you get into Star Wars? What's your earliest memory of Star Wars, Cleet?
Earliest memory of Star Wars was living in Indiana.
Yeah.
And being
Erie, Indiana?
Not Erie, Indiana.
Oh, sorry.
Unfortunately,
another show
but
out
you know that is a lot of people's home sweet home. I got to be honest. No, living in
Music Man.
Noblesville, Indiana,
Also.
and in Noblesville, Indiana, in a small house and in a small place, watching Star Wars on the floor when I was like 4 years old. That was definitely my first memory. And then I remember actually about 3 years later trying to figure out what it was that I remembered from that time, until I stumbled across a Darth Vader mask that was in my parents' closet. And yeah, I put that on. At that time, it was like way too big for my face. At this time, it can barely fit on my fist.
Yeah, that's what it does. Yeah. What about you?
Earliest,
Which is so weird to know, because it's like we lived together for the
But-
majority of our lifetime.
Right.
but Star Wars is different for me.
Of course it is.
It's much more special.
It's so much more. No, I think my first memories of Star Wars was I remember like items. I remember symbols of Star Wars before I even like remembered like the movie so much, because I feel like there was so much Star Wars in our house growing up.
Oh yeah, there
Like
was.
I remember like our oldest brother, he had an R2D2 toy box.
Yes.
And most of the time you couldn't find him because he would dump out all of the toys and then hide in it. So you'd come up to his room and there'd be toys everywhere, but you didn't know where he was, and then all of a sudden these robot noises would start, and then you would like know where Ryan was. I also remember these cookies.
Yes.
I remember these Star Wars cookies that were amazing.
Yeah, what was it like? Chewbacca, I think, was peanut butter.
Chocolate was Vader for sure.
Yeah, chocolate was Vader. Then I think Chewbacca was peanut butter.
Get that dark chocolate.
Luke,
my deep
get
dark
that
side.
dark chocolate deep
I-
inside the darkness.
Oh god.
I am your Keebler elf father.
No, that's impossible. My horrible Mark Hamill impersonation. Yeah, I forget what else there was though for the an R2D2 was one, I think.
It was like graham cracker or something. I don't know.
It's like oatmeal. It's like, oh, fuck you.
But yeah, those were my first like. That's where like Star Wars started for me. And then I remember watching like E.T. or something and being really freaked out by the astronauts because they sounded like Darth Vader. Like I remembered the way Darth Vader sound.
Oh yeah.
And it freaked me out. And then eventually like I got to see like the Ewok movies, and I loved those. And then like I think by that point like I was old enough to like really like understand, like I remembered like blips of it until I got older, but like I really remembered like the certain images of it that were like surrounding me as a child.
I would have to say, like, it was funny that our parents actually, which kind of does make sense because all the movies were PG, and it's funny to let us watch it when we were so young, but it didn't like really phase us or corrupt us. It's like, oh, that guy's dead, but this we're just like, it's sci-fi. Like your brain just goes completely different when it takes place in space. But if it was anything else, it'd be like you can't watch. Well, that was like a Poltergeist with. Oh,
I watched Poltergeist before I was even like 5.
Oh no, we all did. But my mom was like, "Oh, Poltergeist is fine," and then it would get to a part where the guy starts ripping off his face at the in the mirror or whatnot, and my mom would always fast forward it when Ryan would watch it, and then she was on the phone with somebody, and then she just hears Ryan like screaming, and she was all like, "Oh shit, I forgot." But
I just remember Dad always telling me like when we were about to watch certain movies, he'd just be like, "If you get scared, just remind yourself it's not real." which kind of like spoils the adventure of movie is like thinking like, oh, this could be real. And then it was like, oh, if you get scared, just remind yourself it's not real.
Except the bad part is he wouldn't do it with the scary movies. He'd be like the Muppet movies. And
so he's like reminding me that my dream frog is not real.
And margaritas at the midnight buffet. Margaritas at the midnight buffet.
But
well, that sort of idea as well, that it's like, oh, hey, remind yourself it's not real, is, it doesn't work so well when Tim Curry's sitting there laughing at you as a clown with these crazy sharp teeth and then turns into this giant spider that, like, eats people through pipes and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is really funny with that, with the movie It. I know we're jumping all over the place, but with the movie It, it's all like, oh, this is really creepy, this is really good. And then at the end when it was like, it's a giant spider, I literally was like, fuck this. Are you kidding me?
It's just a giant spider that I kill with a slingshot. And special rocks.
I was like walking out. They're like, you live here. I'm like, I'm so disgusted. But yeah, no, my early memory of Star Wars was because our dad was a huge Star Wars fan. Senior Esteban, who's on the idiot section, but he had a Darth Vader and still has a Darth Vader bank. Like it's a ceramic, like one of the original things that came out. Like it's funny because his dad or grandpa was a huge Star Trek fan, and then my dad was a huge Star Wars fan. So then I got scared because I'm like, shit, I'm gonna be a huge Babylon 5 fan, and I don't want to be that. So
everybody at Comic-Con last year,
yeah. They're like, we heard that. I'm not following you on Twitter anymore.
Now you only have 32 likes on Facebook.
Yeah. Because I unfriended you multiple times.
Don't hold my terrible biased opinion against Erin and Steve. Just take the Sith out of the matter.
Oh, so you are the Sith now.
Oh, yeah, I'll take it.
It's been decided.
Yeah.
All right. It's a Clay's evil, apparently. Which is funny because now I'm wondering if I still have my old lightsabers. I think I have a red one and a blue one. Then we can do a video of us battling.
Oh, dude, the one that I still have packed away in a box. Well, I don't have it. My parents still have it packed away in a box. It's definitely a Darth Vader lightsaber. My brother was the one that always got the blue ones. I was like, red is cool.
Yeah, well, that was Ryan. Ryan was a huge Darth Vader fan. Like, this is like the evil guy in the thing, and Ryan's like, I want to be Darth Vader when I grow up. It's all like,
oh yeah,
he is so powerful. Damn it.
No, he
is. Well, I mean, awesome. the Force was strong with him.
Very strong.
Until they got to episode 3 or episode 1, they're all like, oh, it's midichlorians. It's like, what the fuck is that? Literally, who pulls that shit out of their ass?
Mannequin Skywalker, really?
Yeah,
Mannequin Skywalker. Hayden Christensen. Come on, you could have made a better choice. You could have put in I don't know, Milton Berle, and it would have been better.
Fuck, they could have. Oh, I meant to post that. My favorite thing is when they're doing the behind the scenes of Saturday Night Live, where they're doing different people who tried out for different roles for the Star Wars anniversary thing. They got Bob Hope and all these other or Burt Reynolds. Like, what kind of car does this guy drive? He's playing Darth Vader and everything like that.
Nah, I don't like it.
Yeah. And then Christopher Walken as Han Solo. You never heard of the Millennium Falcon, the Castle Run.
Speaking of which, have you ever seen that quite possibly the most amazing YouTube video ever of all the voice actors out there reading off the Star Wars and the entire script of A New Hope?
Yeah, we'll definitely post that on the Facebook page. You actually told me about it. On the Spacebook page. That's right. We got to call it Spacebook now.
Spacebook.
Spacebook.
Yeah, I remember you. I think you told me about it, or you sent it. Someone sent it to me. I remember a long time ago, and I was like, "This is amazing!" And just everything.
Beep. Wow.
Yeah, they had
wow.
Oh yeah, because he was R2.
Yeah, they had
so
people.
Good.
It was great because they're just then they were like, "You do Tracy Morgan as R2." It's like beep bop, crazy. Oh my god! And all that kind of
so good.
Which actually, you know what? I've actually thought about doing stuff like that, just reading off scripts from certain things and putting my own stuff through it. But so yeah, there's a bunch of different things I know we're going to talk about with Star Wars. Because let's see, also I also love just comedy specials of the Star Wars, such as Family Guy. I think did a great job.
Oh yeah, Robot Chicken.
Robot Chicken. I love the Robot Chicken one.
Robot Chicken. Honestly, I'm a huge Family Guy fan, but Robot Chicken just went above and beyond.
Oh no, especially I love when he gets the phone call.
Oh yeah,
from Darth Vader. He's all like, "Hold on, I gotta get this." What do you mean? Reed, what the hell is an aluminum falcon?
Oh my God, he's crying.
Well, just build another one? Oh, like I got $50 million lying around? Why don't you get it out of your light bright ATM chest of yours, huh? Oh God, he's crying. All right, just get back here. Yep. Yeah. I love you too.
Breckenmeyer as Boba Fett was by far one of the funniest damn things I've ever heard. Like, putting the two lightsabers together. I got one blue and I got one red. What's that make? Purple rain, bitches!
I also love the Admiral Akbar cereal.
Oh, yeah.
It's a trap. Actually, one big thing of news they were talking about, finally, I guess I don't know, did you ever see I remember watching the little mini animated shorts of the Star Wars Clone Wars. They were maybe 5-10 minutes at the most, and they played them in between stuff, and it was basically gearing everything up for episode 3. But these were little side things, and they kind of showed you stuff that would happen with the Clone Wars, which was funny because this was the only thing of the new Star Wars that I was like, this is actually really good. It actually showed you a bunch of cool stuff. Anakin went through, it showed more of his training, all this kind of cool stuff that he did. Of course, he probably wasn't played by a whiny little bitch, so that kind of helped out. But then they redid those Clone Wars into 30-minute episodes, and they were all CGI.
Right.
I guess they're going to be releasing them onto Netflix soon.
Oh, cool.
So people can check them out. Apparently, it's a really good show. I've never seen it. I don't know if anybody else has, but...
No, I haven't seen it on there as of yet.
Nope.
So it makes me wonder, though, because I guess they got able to do one more season, and then it got either canceled or it ended, because obviously Disney owns Star Wars now. Now, the funny part is how did everyone feel about when Disney bought Star Wars?
Truly went over
well,
to
okay,
the dark
all right.
side.
So they're
Come over to the dark side. We got cookies. We hate the Jews.
haha.
Yeah.
So there can be good things and bad things about this. The thing that kind of upsets me in a way about Disney taking over is that when Disney takes over things, they tend to really, really overdo it. As they've already said that they're going to release a Boba Fett movie and a Han Solo movie, and they have all these things in the works. Now, that could be a cool thing.
I'd love to see a Han Solo movie.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But it's Disney, so everything's going to be
Absolutely.
PG-13. Not to say that the original Star Wars weren't, but if you re-release the original 4, I mean, now with nowadays standards, they'd be considered
with
R.
the way the censorship
That's
is
true.
now.
Exactly.
Right.
So, I mean, who knows exactly what's going to happen with it. And then as well, they did get J.J. Abrams. And I'm a big Star Trek fan, and I'm a big fan of the new Star Trek movies. And J.J. Abrams did a really great job with those. I'm upset for the fact that the next Star Trek movie that comes out is not going to be done by J.J. Abrams because Disney's just like, hey, here's $400 million. Have fun.
And
make
a
this
baby
movie.
whale.
But there's one thing that we'll definitely know about this. The dewback lizards will never look better because J.J. Abrams loves his giant beasts.
Yes.
That's true.
That is true.
Fuck
yeah,
yeah.
no, that was a big thing when everyone was talking about that. J.J. Abrams leaving the Star Trek franchise and going over to the Star Wars franchise, which to me, I'm like, you know what? I'm sorry, but if I was that director and they were like, hey, why don't you do this franchise? And then Disney comes over and be like, hey, we want to do the Star Wars franchise. I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, yes, Disney.
But that's the thing.
Another $45 million.
Yeah, and then,
Okay,
and then
why
that
not?
is their problem too, because the same thing happened with John Farva with the Iron Man movies. Of course, he
yeah.
did the first 2, left. Someone else takes over for the third one. Everyone's like, I hate this one. This is the worst one ever. Blah, blah, blah. And to be fair, I actually enjoyed it. I liked Iron Man 3. I actually, and this is all wrapping back down to Disney again, is my first one is Iron Man 1 is my favorite one out of all of them.
Yeah.
The third one I think is my second favorite, and then the second one is my third favorite out of the 3 trilogy. I was just I like the fact that he was out of the suit, got to do a lot more, kind of got to see how Tony Stark's brain worked, without the Iron Man costume, and you're kind of okay, he actually can, take care of his own. But that's what's the biggest problem everyone was concerned with, when they bought Disney. Disney bought Marvel. It's but they've been doing a pretty good job with the Marvel universe. They've been knocking everything out and putting everything together in this huge universe. I'm I'm not too worried about Star Wars unless they were oh, hey, Hayden Christensen's coming back and he's gonna, just be walking around and
They bought it with the
everybody.
idea that's oh no, 1 through 3 were the greatest Star
Yeah,
Wars.
JJ.
If that's the case, then no.
That would be
I wouldn't
hard.
go and
Imagine if
see
he
it.
did that for his press conference. He's like, we're going to start filming episode 7 today, but before we go there, I want to talk about the original Star Wars. I hated it. Thought it was horrible. So I'm taking a page out of the first 3 episodes, Everyone's
Han
all like-
Solo out the window.
Everyone's just all like, "This is a joke, right? He's gonna turn around. Is the date April Fool's? Right? No. I got your money, bitches. Later." And he just like leaves.
Yeah.
Aaron's all like, "What the fuck just happened?"
I'm gonna take a huge crap on this,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna go.
And then I'm gonna go back to Star Trek.
Oh, Jesus.
No, I honestly have to say that I am excited. Now, granted,
Yeah.
I think it's probably going to be one of those things where you're going to know in the first probably 5 minutes of the movie whether or not you're really going to
Yes.
enjoy it, but does not change the fact that anything Star Wars is awesome. So therefore,
No, yeah.
Much.
Everything has their flaws, I mean, look at even the original ones. There's still certain parts where you're just like, wait a minute. I mean, it's completely, the Clerks cartoon show brought up the greatest point in the Star Wars universe, where he's all like, you tell us that George Lucas, he's all like, oh, when I met your father, he was a great pilot, but in Phantom Menace, he was a little boy. It's like, admit it. You wrote it over a weekend, kept telling everybody it was done for years.
Yeah.
True.
Hey, best thing about that first series, or the first series, technically second series,
Mhm.
first three.
The original.
It was so awesome
Trilogy.
to have. Well, not the original trilogy.
The
The Clone
originals.
Wars. The Clone Wars. The greatest
Okay.
thing about the Clone Wars was that many Jedi fighting at once on the screen was something that
Pretty
video games at that
incredible.
point haven't even touched
Yes.
yet.
Yeah.
And
That is
and
very
they
true.
now, granted, they've expanded, with Galaxies
Yes.
and with the Old Republic, which, by the way, the Knights of the Old Republic game,
Yes.
favorite game of all time.
Very good games. Also, okay, I know you're a huge Star Wars fan and you love video games. How did you feel about Force Unleashed?
I really enjoyed Force Unleashed.
I never played the second one. Is it worth playing?
That's a good question.
Okay.
It expands on the first one to the fact of that your powers get really crazy.
Okay.
And I mean everything it takes it up a notch, obviously, because it came out I think 3 years later.
Yeah.
But when I think about the Star Wars universe, I really want a really thick story and something. The story's kind of lacking compared to the
No,
first
yeah, I agree. It's just it's basically like a side story going like, oh, Darth Vader had this other apprentice that and then you watch this guy and you're just all like, I would have rather had him than
Right.
hating Christian fucking thing.
Well,
Yeah.
I really, what's crazy too is the guy they use as a character model for that.
Yeah.
Is a guy from Battlestar Galactica, played Crashdown.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's the character model for it. Did the voice acting. Did
Oh,
all
okay.
and when you look at the face of the apprentice as well, I mean, it looks just like him. And so he did a really great job and everything throughout the series. Considering I freaking hated him on BSG because I mean he was such a prick. And good thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
Wait,
I think that
what?
they had some great actors in
Yeah.
there and stuff for the games. The game itself, they kind of got to the point where it was one of those things where they've expanded on character development and everything. It's just the story was just a little bit lacking in the
No,
second.
yeah. It's but I did enjoy it. Like, I mean, the first level you're walking around as Darth Vader and you're just like flinging Wookiees all over the place.
Oh.
I'm like, this is fun.
That was so much fun. Force blast.
Yeah, just
5
yeah.
Wookiees just
Wookiee
fly
toss.
away.
I know. So yeah, Wookiee toss basically. But I will have to say, Lego Star Wars video games, phenomenal.
See, I haven't done any of those, man.
Oh my
Like,
god,
they-
they're so good. Like, okay, even playing like when you have to play episode 1, 2, and 3, like in Lego form, you're just all like, I could get behind this in Lego form.
Totally.
You're like, this is perfect. It makes fun of itself, just like the movie tried to take itself seriously. But just if they did it with like we're gonna redo episode 1, 2, and 3, but in Lego format, I'm like, I'm on board.
Yeah.
Just do it.
I want my world to be Lego.
Like I wouldn't even care.
I want to build my own house with my hands. And
But
Legos.
yeah, no, the Lego
But
Lego
if you
Star
were
Wars
a
franchise.
Lego, it'd be kind of hard to build your own house.
It would probably be as difficult as building your own house actually is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hand me the hammer.
I mean, your hands.
Sorry, my hands can only do this.
I'm sorry, all I have are claws that can't really pick up a brick, but I
My
can
hands
hammer it
are
in.
really great for drinking, though.
That's probably why nothing gets done in the Lego.
And I can hold a Lego lightsaber like you have no idea.
So give me a Lego beer and a Lego lightsaber, and I am
And let's
set
build
for
this
the
house!
afternoon.
I don't know. This sounds like my weekend except in Legos.
Pretty much.
They're gonna make a Lego game about Clay. Is just that. Well, he doesn't do anything. What are you talking about? He's slashing things.
He's got his
drinking.
Lego Coors Light.
He's golden. I love this game. Didn't do anything for an hour. Achievement unlocked. Yes. The greatest Lego game ever.
With my tiny Lego hands.
That sounds like a book. My tiny Lego hands.
Yeah, written by that should be a biography for Legos.
It should.
With my tiny yellow hands.
My struggle with my tiny Lego hands.
Instead of was that one book was it like 1,000 fibers, it'll be 1,000 Lego blocks or something.
Oh yeah, right. That's the one that made fun of the South Park.
Yeah.
A million little fibers.
Speaking of South Park, I know this is offhand, but I got to pick up that. I got to pick up that new game that just came out.
Oh yeah, the
Stick of Truth.
Stick of Truth, yeah, totally.
But before we wrap up this show, I do want to give a little bit of shout outs. We did have a couple of people follow us on Twitter. We have @Darth_Vader SW. We have @NerdDad. We have Cinema OTR, @Superologist. Or Superheroologist, BC Juggernaut, @the Chris Gore, which is actually pretty good for us because Chris Gore has started following everybody on our network, and Chris Gore used to work for Attack of the Show and has his own other podcast, so it's kind of good to get that kind of out there.
Sweet.
Punch the Walls of Reality, Possible Movies, @Count Marzo, and @4F35. So I want to thank all of them.
And
for following us.
Underground Railroad.
You guys didn't follow us yet.
Just shut up.
That's what I love. I was like, I'm
Gotta
looking
get on that, Aaron.
I'm looking at everybody. I'm like, oh, everyone on the show is following it.
I don't use Twitter.
Actually, I was going to ask you.
I'm too busy on the Facebook to Twitter page.
First off, that's what I was going to ask you about your Twitter. If you have all the information, I could link it to your Facebook, and then it's done, and you don't have to worry about it. So anything you post on Underground just goes right to your Twitter feed.
That sounds like a really big commitment, and I don't know if I'm ready for that.
I know, we can bear. I'm surprised you actually wanted
laziness.
to do this podcast because you're like, I want to do mine.
Yeah, I don't know when the railroad will be back on track next week, maybe. We like derailing.
Like derailing the railroad.
We like to derail.
Obviously, with this podcast, it's derailed all over the place. But I told you it's a pilot episode, so we're okay.
Oh yeah, why not?
Waka waka waka.
Okay.
What? Okay, what does Fozzie have to do with the Star Wars universe?
Everything. Frank Oz, motherfuckers.
And margaritas at the midnight buffet.
Han Solo! Waka waka!
No, Frank Oz did Fozzie, and he did
Yoda and Miss
Yoda
Piggy and a bunch of other ones.
Oh, hey, sad note,
Everything
by
is
the
Yoda.
way, regarding Yoda. Apparently, the original makeup artist that did Yoda and
Died.
everything died.
He passed away.
He was in the memoranda episode of the Oscars.
Oscars,
So,
yep.
hey, cheers.
Cheers to that.
Thank you for making our lives that
Awesome.
much more happy and amazing. You
Thanks
are the
for
man.
giving me more zen.
Yeah. A lot of people... I didn't watch the Oscars. Anybody watch the Oscars?
No, I watched the memorandum, though.
Okay.
I managed to because I'm
Homeless.
vacationing.
Vacationing.
I'm vacationing at my parents.
Far away.
If you're interested in finding out about that, tune into the next Underground Railroad. But thanks for checking out a Jedi, a Sith, and an Ewok.
Aaron's just wrapping up the show now, aren't you?
I thought you said it was time to...
Oh, no, we were hitting on a couple points. I just wanted to get through the Twitter thing.
Okay. You made it sound... I thought
No,
you were...
because you just brought up that thing about the Yoda makeup person.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
like, I'm
Sorry,
intrigued.
guys. I'm not ending the show.
No, you're not. Aaron's like, I gotta get out of here. I got shit to do. I got Sith to do.
I'm on vacation.
I'm on vacation.
I'm vacationing.
I'm on vacation on Tatooine.
And by that, I mean I'm
Hanging out
just
at
homeless. I'm
at
just
the
homeless.
cantina. They play that song, I love that song.
You know, I've often thought of what that song would sound like if Scott Stapp sang it.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, like, I don't know, man. I think that would be hilarious, though.
Can that be our intro music? now?
What the cantina?
Play
what
doing
just
this
did.
right now.
I'll have to record them the entire time. And
Oh.
make it the intro.
Let's
music.
start from the beginning. A 5, a 6,
Do you need
a
the background
5, 6,
music?
7, 8.
That's all I got.
Okay, we could just
Gonna need a
loop
little bit
that.
more practice on that guy.
Loop that one. Loop that shit. And everybody, Charleston. Which I feel like would be really difficult if you were an alien and you happen to have more than 4 legs. What if you had an odd number of legs?
Wouldn't that be the most amazing Charleston ever?
Well, no, but now I'm thinking about it. Like, if you had like tentacles or something. What if you had an odd number? What if you had like
Wait,
9?
an odd number of testicles? Or-
Yeah. Yeah, you're Charleston.
I got 23!
Yeah, what if you had 23 tentacles and you were trying to Charleston? That would make it really
Well, you would
awkward.
make it work because you would know how your tentacles work. Now, if you're talking about somebody who had like 2 legs and then got into an accident, like, we fixed your 2 legs, but we added a shit ton of tentacles to it, then there might be a problem.
Would like the
wonder-
skill meter go up with like how many legs you could have in the air while you Charleston with 2?
No. I think the skill would be how coordinated you were with all of yours.
That's true, yeah. But I figure if you were born
But
with all
if
that, you
you're
would learn.
Charlesting and jazz handing and partner dancing
you really jazz hand
all
the
at the
tentacles?
same time, why the fuck not?
Because you don't have fingers. Isn't
So,
jazz
it's
hands
a-
all fingers? Because this is more just like waving tentacles. Yeah, I'm getting into alien anatomy right
That's
now.
right.
It's got a little bit of like pizzazz to it though, or like.
Wally, what are you doing? I'm doing jazz hands. You don't have fingers, Wally. Shut up!
But it looks better than a regular wave in dancing.
Or people just think he's attacking things because he's just waving his hands around. It's like, because that's all I ever noticed with tentacles. They just attack things like that.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to.
You're gonna have to do some research on some squids.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, not just any squids. Space squids.
We'll go to a subreddit.
squids.
How do you feel about space squids doing the Charleston?
Oh,
That's
the,
our
the dark side of that.
That's our next week's question. That's a question.
Yes.
How does an alien species with tentacles do the Charleston?
With 23 tentacles.
With 23 tentacles.
23.
23
Or specifically
is the
20.
magic
23
number.
is the magic number. These are the hard-hitting questions you'll hear on a Jedi, a Sith, and an Ewok. Anybody have any last things you want to add?
No, but I think this is
This
this is potential to be the greatest podcast on
No, hopefully when it comes
in
out,
the
people-
galaxy.
In the galaxy far, far away.
Or of course, we're gonna hear the line is all like the episode will get released and people will be like, "I just heard 1 million people scream out," and then silence.
Let the Wookiee win.
Yeah, let the Wookiee win.
Let the Wookiee win.
I think that's gonna be. I want that. Do you want to use that as our sign off?
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
until next time, I am Steve-O.
I'm Erin.
I'm Clay.
And as we say here at Jedi, Sith, and Ewok, let the Wookiee win.
Yep.
This has been another fine production of the 4i Radio Network. For more great shows, check out www.4iradio.com. I hate Ewoks.